Hey folks! Buckle up, because today we're diving into the world of glowing neon grids, light cycles, and digital rebellions. That's right, Tron is back. And not just with a new coat of paint. Tron, Ares marks the long-awaited return of a cult classic that changed the game, literally and visually, over 4 decades ago. So let's talk about what the trailer tells us, why this movie actually matters, and what we can expect from Tron, Ares. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around. Hard to believe, but the original Tron dropped all the way back in 1982. That's 43 years ago. And at the time, it was revolutionary. It wasn't just some flashy sci-fi flick. It pioneered computer-generated imagery in film, introduced motion capture, and dared to visualize what a digital universe might look like. The 2010 sequel, Tron: Legacy, brought the franchise into a new era, with sleek light cycle chases, high-concept ideas about AI and the digital self, and of course, Olivia Wilde. It wasn't a massive box office hit, but it definitely grew a strong fanbase over time. And now we've got Tron: Ares, a third chapter that's aiming to be both a continuation and a soft reboot for new audiences. With Jared Leto leading the charge, this isn't just another trip into the grid. This is a full-on invasion. Here's the big twist. Tron: Ares flips the classic formula. Instead of a human entering the digital world, we've got something way more dangerous, a digital being entering our world. The trailer shows a program named Ares, yep, like the Greek god of war, being created and suited up in crimson neon. And in the Tron universe, that red glow usually means bad news. The implication? Ares is being sent into the real world with one purpose: war. But hey, don't be surprised if our villain starts questioning his mission halfway through the film. Classic redemption arc vibes? Very possible. Visually, the trailer delivers. Sleek production design, glowing landscapes, iconic light cycles. And they now work in the real world somehow? Why do they leave neon trails here too? No idea! But I'm hoping we get some cool tech lore to explain it. Also, no Daft Punk this time. I know, sad face. They disbanded in 2021. But the new soundtrack? Still hits hard. You'd think a franchise with this much potential would have had a smoother ride. But nope. Tron 3 was stuck in development limbo for almost 15 years. It was greenlit right after Legacy, but delays, rewrites, and Disney reshuffles kept putting it on ice. Only recently did things finally start moving. Director Joachim Ronning, who did Pirates 5 and Maleficent 2, took charge. And fun fact, Tron: Ares was supposed to be a Disney Plus exclusive. But once the scope got too big, Disney said, "Yeah, this goes to theaters." Good call. Jared Leto is playing Ares, our mysterious red-suited warrior. We've also got Evan Peters, Gillian Anderson, and Jeff Bridges. Yep, the original Kevin Flynn is back. Now, his return is super interesting. Last time we saw him, he sacrificed himself to destroy CLU. But a short film, The Next Day, hinted he might have survived. No word yet on Sam Flynn or Quora, though. Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde aren't listed, at least not officially. Maybe we'll get a surprise cameo? Fingers crossed. There's way more to the Tron universe than just the movies. There's The Next Day, Tron, Uprising, a whole animated series, and even comics. That gives Tron: Ares a lot of lore to work with. And with original creator Steven Leisberger involved in the writing, fans are hoping it'll stay true to the spirit of Tron, while leveling up for today's audience. If this movie lands, don't be shocked if Disney goes full-on franchise mode, spin-offs, shows, maybe even a full cinematic universe. So, is Tron: Ares worth the hype? Honestly? Yeah. It's stylish. It's ambitious. It's got something to say. The whole idea of digital beings crossing into the real world, that hits different now. Especially in 2025, when AI is already part of our everyday lives. Whether you're here for the lore, the visuals, or just Jared Leto's immortal cheekbones, this movie looks like it's going to be something special. Let me know what you think in the comments. Excited? Nervous? Totally confused but kinda into it? And seriously, what do you think about those new light cycles? Talk to me. That's all for now. Stay glowing, and I'll see you in the next one. Before we get into it, let's agree on one thing. Turning Minecraft into a movie was always going to be a bit of a gamble. I mean, how do you take a sandbox game with no real story and transform it into a compelling cinematic experience? At first glance, it seemed like a classic case of a cash grab, just another attempt to lure in the game's massive fanbase and fill theater seats. From the moment the first trailer dropped, things looked rocky, unimpressive visuals, awkward character designs, a questionable mix of actors, and a plot that felt stitched together at best. It got bombarded with dislikes, and fans weren't shy about voicing their doubts. But then something unexpected happened. Early critic reviews weren't as harsh as everyone expected. Some even said the film was entertaining? So let's talk about it. What kind of mess, or maybe miracle, did the creators of Minecraft, the movie, get themselves into? The big picture. First, let's remember just how huge Minecraft is. Over the years, it's become more than a game, it's a cultural phenomenon. At some point, just about every gamer, from Fortnite kids to retro game lovers, has either played it or at least heard of it. The blocky aesthetic? Instantly recognizable. The creative freedom? Unmatched. And yet, the very things that made Minecraft great were exactly what made it nearly impossible to adapt. Let's be honest, Minecraft doesn't have a narrative. It's not The Last of Us. It's a world where players do whatever they want, build, dig, explore, survive. So, from the start, everyone was asking the same question: what are they even going to adapt? Hollywood's blueprint. Turns out, the studio didn't reinvent the wheel. They took the tried-and-true formula: characters get sucked into a magical world, must complete a mission, and find a way home. Sound familiar? It's the same trick they used with Jumanji starring Dwayne Johnson, twice. And hey, it worked there. Both movies crossed the billion-dollar mark. So why not try the same with Minecraft? The studio clearly aimed for a safe, crowd-pleasing adventure with broad appeal, and a built-in audience of millions of kids who already love the game. The trailer backlash. But that first trailer? Yikes. Fans tore it apart. The graphics looked cheap, the human characters felt out of place, and the tone didn't quite hit the mark. It felt more like a fan film from 10 years ago than a big-budget production. Jason Momoa's over-the-top performance and Jack Black's cartoonish energy didn't help sell it either, at least, not at first glance. But now the film is out. And while some of the early concerns were totally valid, others, not so much. What critics actually liked. Believe it or not, some critics had kind things to say. Director Jared Hess, best known for Napoleon Dynamite, brought his signature quirky humor to the project. That ironic, light-hearted tone? It kinda works here. Jack Black, unsurprisingly, is a natural fit for the comedy. But the real surprise? Jason Momoa. Normally, he's the tough guy, Aquaman, Khal Drogo, but here, he shows he's got solid comedic timing. Props to him for stepping out of his comfort zone. The first 20 minutes, set in the real world, also received praise. They're funny, self-aware, and genuinely entertaining. If only the rest of the movie had stayed that consistent. The downside. Let's not sugarcoat it. This movie is not for everyone. In fact, it might not even be for most people. If you're an adult with no connection to the game, you'll probably walk out of the theater wondering what just happened. The main character, Steve, played by Black, is an average office worker who discovers a magical cube that opens a portal to the Minecraft world. He jumps in and gives us a crash course on game mechanics in the first 5 minutes. It's goofy, rushed, and kinda charming, if you're in the right mood. But the tone is all over the place. Sometimes Steve is funny, other times he's just cringy. His exaggerated expressions and overacting might get a few laughs, but just as often they feel forced. And don't even get me started on Momoa's character, absurd to the max. Easter eggs and nostalgia. Here's where the film does something right. There are tons of nods to the game. Creepers, crafting, minecarts, even the first night experience, it's all there. Fans of the game will definitely appreciate those moments. It's like a nostalgia trip, even if the packaging is a bit chaotic. But here's the problem. Outside of those references, the movie feels hollow. The plot? Weak. Really weak. It was rewritten by 6 different writers, and you can tell. Characters change personalities mid-scene, and the story feels like it's been glued together from separate drafts. It's messy. Some moments are so absurd they border on parody, like the villain Malgorzata, who speaks in a sweet voice while delivering evil plans. Or Steve checking his wrist for a watch that isn't there. Visuals and action. The action scenes? Underwhelming. The set pieces feel repetitive, the landscapes are bland, and the CGI, well, let's just say it's rough around the edges. Especially the flying scenes, those were painful to watch. It's like the film couldn't decide whether it wanted to look stylized or realistic. And in trying to do both, it nailed neither. Final thoughts. So, is Minecraft, the movie, a total disaster? Not exactly. It knows its audience, kids. And for them, it works. It's light, colorful, silly, and full of energy. They'll laugh at the jokes, enjoy the references, and probably beg for a sequel. But for older fans who spend years building epic castles and surviving hardcore mode, this movie might feel like a joke, and not a very good one. Still, you have to give the studio credit, they took a risk. They threw $150 million at a weird idea, hoping to turn blocks into box office gold. And maybe, just maybe, they'll pull it off. But if they want the franchise to last, they'll need to step up the storytelling in a big way. If you've seen the film, I'd love to hear what you think. Did it live up to your expectations? Was the humor on point or totally off? Let's talk in the comments. And hey, see you in the next video. Hey there, fellow Potterheads. It's Dennis here, and today we're diving into the whirlwind of news surrounding HBO's upcoming Harry Potter series. From casting choices to production details, there's a lot to unpack. So, grab your butterbeer and let's get started. KSL.com. A fresh take on the wizarding world. HBO is set to bring a new adaptation of J.K. Rowling's beloved series to the small screen, aiming for a more faithful rendition of the books. With each season dedicated to a single book, fans can expect a deeper exploration of the magical universe. Filming is scheduled to commence in the summer of 2025 at Warner Bros. Studios' Leavesden in Hertfordshire, England, with a premiere anticipated in 2026. Business Insider. +2. KSL.com. +2. Hollywood.com. +2. Casting choices stirring the cauldron. The casting announcements have been a mixed bag of excitement and controversy. Nick Frost, known for his roles in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, has been cast as the lovable half-giant Hagrid. While many fans are thrilled, some have criticized Frost for associating with J.K. Rowling due to her controversial views. Bored Panda. On the other hand, Papa Esaidu's casting as Severus Snape has ignited significant debate. Esaidu, a talented actor with a rich background in theater and television, including roles in I May Destroy You and Gangs of London, brings a fresh perspective to the complex character of Snape. However, some fans have expressed concerns over this casting choice, leading to discussions about representation and fidelity to the original character descriptions. Los 40. Behind the scenes, the creative minds. The series boasts a strong creative team, with Francesca Gardiner, known for her work on Succession and Killing Eve, serving as showrunner. Mark Mylod, who has directed episodes of Game of Thrones, is set to direct multiple episodes of the series. J.K. Rowling returns as an executive producer, ensuring that the adaptation remains true to the spirit of the original books. Geek Culture. +4. Business Insider. +4. IMDb. +4. Hollywood.com. +2. +2. Business Insider. +2. Exploring uncharted corners of Hogwarts. One of the exciting aspects of this adaptation is the opportunity to delve into parts of the wizarding world previously unexplored in the films. Fans can look forward to seeing locations like the Hogwarts kitchens, the Hufflepuff Common Room, and St. Mungo's Hospital for magical maladies and injuries. These additions promise to enrich the narrative and provide a more comprehensive view of the magical universe. KSL.com. The Weasley Twins, a familiar hue. In a move that has pleased many fans, casting calls have confirmed that Fred and George Weasley will be portrayed by white, red-haired actors, staying true to their original descriptions. This decision has been welcomed by those who value consistency with the source material. Gaming Bible. Final thoughts. As we await the release of HBO's Harry Potter series, it's clear that the project is both ambitious and fraught with challenges. Balancing fidelity to the beloved books with contemporary sensibilities is no small feat. While some casting choices have sparked debate, the commitment to exploring new facets of the wizarding world offers a promising glimpse into what's to come. Whether you're excited, skeptical, or somewhere in between, one thing is certain: the magic of Hogwarts continues to captivate audiences worldwide. Stay tuned for more updates, and as always, mischief managed. Guy Ritchie just crashed into our weekly routine with a bang, and he's brought some heavy hitters with him. Gangsterland, his brand new crime series, features none other than Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren. Yeah, that's right, a cast like this doesn't come around every day. From the very first episode, it's clear, Ritchie's not just dipping his toes into familiar waters, he's diving headfirst back into that gritty, stylish world he knows best. Some early reviews are already saying this might rival The Gentleman, and honestly, I can see why. Now, let's talk about the character everyone's already buzzing about, Tom Hardy's Harry. If you're a fan of Hardy's usual vibe, calm, calculated, with that quiet storm energy, you're going to love this guy. Harry isn't just some muscle for hire. He's the fixer, the strategist, the one with connections in every dark alley and upscale boardroom alike. Think of him as the guy who makes the impossible happen, always one step ahead, never losing his cool, and when needed, absolutely terrifying. What's really fascinating is how Hardy plays him. He doesn't just bring brute force, he brings presence. The kind that makes you straighten up when he enters the room. The man barely raises his voice, but somehow, everyone listens. And if you've followed Hardy's career, you know this is his sweet spot. He's got that magnetic intensity, whether he's Bane, Alfie Solomons, or now Harry, that just commands attention. But here's a fun detail. Harry's role here is very reminiscent of Raymond from The Gentleman, the fixer played by Charlie Hunnam. The big twist? This time, the fixer is front and center. We're not seeing the story through someone else's lens. This is Harry's world, and we're just living in it. And trust me, it's a darker, heavier world than in The Gentleman. Gangsterland leans more into the psychological, the brutal. It's less flashy, more surgical. But that doesn't mean it's any less stylish. You still get those slick Ritchie visuals and whip-smart dialogue, but the stakes feel higher, more dangerous. Now, a bit of context. This show originally started as a spin-off of Ray Donovan, remember that? Liev Schreiber as a Hollywood cleaner, who made high-profile problems disappear. The series ran for 7 seasons and even got a movie. The fanbase was massive. But instead of continuing that storyline, the creative team, including writers behind John D. and Ford v. Ferrari, decided to go their own way. Smart move, honestly. What we ended up with is Gangsterland, a standalone story set in London's underworld, with a powerful crime family at its core. Pierce Brosnan plays the unpredictable patriarch, Helen Mirren is the icy and calculating matriarch, and Hardy's Harry? He's the glue that holds everything together, until, of course, things start falling apart. And they do. fast. The first episode ends with a public execution inside the family, a brutal wake-up call that no one is safe. Behind it all might be Mirren's character, who's already showing signs of being the true puppet master. Her scene with Archie, the family's trusted old friend, is full of tension and hidden motives. She may have manipulated her husband into thinking Archie was a traitor, and Harry? He's caught in the middle of it all. Here's the big question: if things go sideways, which side will Harry take? Loyalty or logic? Emotion or strategy? And don't forget, by the end of episode 1, someone's already trying to flip him. If Hardy's character switches sides, it'll be explosive. So yeah, Gangsterland isn't just a cool crime show with a stellar cast. It's a smart, tightly written story that feels fresh, even if it shares some DNA with Ritchie's earlier work. The pacing is a bit slower than The Gentleman, sure, but that's the nature of serialized storytelling. What it loses in speed, it makes up for in depth, tone, and atmosphere. And hey, we might not know yet if Gangsterland will become part of a bigger Guy Ritchie universe, but honestly, it doesn't need to. It already stands tall on its own. Highly recommend watching it. And let me know, what did you think of Tom Hardy in this role? Do you think he's the best fixer Ritchie's ever brought to life? Drop your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next breakdown. You gotta hand it to Jason Statham. Few action stars can brag about a resume this iconic. Over the years, he's punched, kicked, and glared his way through some of the most explosive roles in modern action cinema. And just when you think he's done it all, boom! He adds another title to the list, The Master. Now, let's be honest. Statham isn't known for Shakespearean monologues or dramatic crying scenes, and that's totally fine. He's carved out a niche as the silent, deadly, no-nonsense action hero. And guess what? That formula still works like a charm. It sells tickets, fills seats, and delivers exactly what fans came for. So, what's The Master all about? And is it really one of his best? Let's break it down. First off, the film is directed by David Ayer, yeah, the guy behind Training Day, Fury, and even the first Suicide Squad. The man knows his way around gritty storytelling and hard-hitting action. And this isn't just a random project. It's based on a best-selling book called The Leave-On Trade by Chuck Dixon. It's actually part of an 11-book series, which means The Master might just be the beginning of a much bigger franchise. What's cool is that Sylvester Stallone originally picked up the rights and even wrote the first draft of the script. And let's be real, you know Sly probably imagined himself in the lead. But in a classy move, he passed the torch to his buddy from The Expendables, Jason Statham. Sadly, Stallone doesn't show up in the movie, but hey, the spirit's definitely there. As for the plot, it's classic Statham. He plays Levon Cade, an ex-Special Forces guy trying to live a normal life as a construction worker. Of course, trouble finds him, and he's pulled back into the world of violence when he sets out to rescue a kidnapped girl. Sound familiar? Sure. But this time, it's the details that count. And here's something interesting about Jason. Did you know he was once a professional diver? Represented England in the Commonwealth Games back in the day. That discipline, that intensity, you can still see it in every fight scene. His action isn't just brute force, it's calculated, controlled chaos. In The Master, he's not just breaking bones, he's also playing a father. A protector. And that adds a new emotional layer we don't always get from Statham's characters. He might not be a classically trained actor, but man, he knows how to sell a look, a punch, and a quiet moment of rage. And while the action scenes in The Master don't exactly reinvent the genre, they're sharp, clean, and effective. No crazy shaky cams, no over-the-top slow mo. Just good old-fashioned beatdowns, shootouts, and car chases. And yeah, a bit of torture too, classic Statham style. One small gripe? Some of the best action shots were spoiled in the trailer. But luckily, the film adds enough layers to those scenes to keep them exciting. There's even a cool little animated intro that gives us Lee Van's backstory, a smart move that saves time and keeps things moving. Now, not everything's perfect. Some side characters feel underdeveloped, a few subplots go nowhere, and let's just say the dialogue isn't exactly Tarantino level. But you don't go to a Statham film for poetic wordplay. You go to watch him punch his way through bad guys with a grim smirk, and the master delivers on that front. The runtime is a solid 2 hours, which is kinda long for a straight-up action flick. But with David Ayer at the helm, things stay pretty fresh. There's espionage, a criminal syndicate, even detective vibes. It's not just action, it's a bit of everything. And compared to The Beekeeper, Statham's previous team-up with Ayer, the master feels like it's trying to go deeper, to build a universe. And maybe that's the plan. There are definite hints that this could be the start of a franchise, and honestly, I wouldn't mind more of this world. So, is the master perfect? Nope. But it knows exactly what it is, a tough, gritty, old-school action film with a modern edge. It doesn't try to be something it's not, and sometimes, that's exactly what you need. If you're into Jason Statham, you'll love this one. And if you like The Beekeeper, you're probably already sold. So grab some popcorn, settle in, and let the master do what Statham does best,